Hello there folks, it's TIJ Gaming and welcome back to our Ashes Cricket Player Career Mode. Today it's time for the 13th instalment of the Career Mode. Now, just a disclaimer before we start, I think I've picked possibly the worst time to record this. It's terribly windy outside. My noise cancelling techniques compose of me closing the curtain, but that might have done something actually. It's not as bad as it was, but the wind might get heavier, so apologies if there's any background noise. But apart from that, let's get straight into the video. So, you'll remember that last time out we had not the best first innings. We only got 22 off 19 and we played 3 innings in the last match, in the last episode even. And to be honest, we didn't really get into it too much in the start of the new season. So wouldn't it be great in this episode to get a debut 50 in this season anyway. So let's go and do it, shall we? Now, I've had a bit of a rejig on the channel. Look at him pulling his leg. Bit of warm up there. But I've had a bit of a think about content on the channel. That's a lovely shot to get us started. The single, so Patrick O'Neill's back on strike straight away. I've had a little rejig with some of the stuff on the channel. It's the same things on the channel, but just with a little bit of a different schedule. And if you're interested in looking at the other stuff on the channel, I'd recommend going to watch the channel update that I did last week about where's Football Manager gone. That'll give you a bit of insight into everything that's happening on the channel at the moment. But I've had a bit of a rejig with the content, and this is going to stay where it is. It's the only series that's actually going to stay where it is on a Monday and a Friday at 6 PM. But because the other two series are quite long on my channel in terms of the length, that's another lovely shot by the way. That should go straight to the boundary. We're playing quite well so far. Because the other series are a little bit longer in terms of the video length, so I'm planning to increase this series on a trial period for the next few weeks anyway, to increase the video lengths for an average of about, because I do tend to go for 20 minutes in terms of length. We're playing brilliantly by the way. 2 boundaries on our first over. It could be a good episode for us today. But because those videos are a little bit longer, I'm going to plan with this series rather than an average of 20 minutes an episode to try and bump that up to half an hour episode. Get through the games a little bit quicker, and also that's 20 more minutes worth of content for your week. So in effect, you do get on average about another episode's worth, but it's just that the 2 episodes are a little bit longer. Let me know if you like that idea, or whether you'd prefer 3 videos a week of 20 minutes in length. But now that that's a little bit of a surface update, let's get on with the cricket. Blimey, look at Patrick O'Neill, a 6 and a 1. So that's great for him. And we've had a good start as well, as we said earlier. And for some reason, we're just playing really well. I want to check that the batting difficulty hasn't gone down for some odd reason, because we are playing remarkably well. Settings, view controls. No, it's... I don't think we can. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think the difficulty has gone down, but we're playing brilliantly so far. What's that? 3 boundaries and 2 singles so far? Brilliant stuff. And that's all of a sudden accelerated a fairly mediocre sort of 15, 16 innings to a near 30 very, very quickly. But of course, we can't get complacent. A little bit of a slower ball there. That could have caused us out a little bit. But luckily, we were a little bit early on the timing, which meant we didn't get an edge. But if it had been closer, we would have certainly got an edge and probably been out. And it comes to the last one of the over then. That's more like it. Just the single, I think. And we will be back on strike for the next over. But a bit of context into this match for you guys that haven't watched this series in the last few episodes. We've started a new season with the Wolverhampton team. We're playing in the Midlands Shield. That is the Test Match Shield, or the 3-day First Class Shield, if you want to call it that. That's a more technical name. And we're playing our second match against Maidenhead. We lost our first match against Stourbridge quite heavily. If you want to go back and watch the last episode for that, that was quite a poor shot. But we are playing Maidenhead. We're playing in our second innings. We decided to bat first, and at the moment, we've got a lead of 190 odd after beating Maidenhead by about 50 or 60 runs in the first innings. But it'd be great for us to get a 50, maybe even a century in today's episode to try and bolster that score up a little bit. Because 180 for 4 is a little bit of an obscure score. Not obscure, I can't think what the word is. It's not obscure, but it's related to that. It's a bit of a worrying score. I can't think of the exact word, but it is a bit of a worrying score in that, well, it could go either way. We could lose 2 quick wickets, and we certainly might well do that if we go for 2 there. That was never going to happen. But it is one of those that could tumble very quickly, and we could either end up with a very poor 180-200 score, which would give us, what, a lead of about 240 and about that to chase from Maidenhead, which they should chase. It'd be a pity for that as well, after we had a first innings lead of about 50 or 60. But this score is one that we can either go on and get a really good partnership back till the end of the day with O'Neill, and with the run rate that's suggested at the moment, that would be about 70. Well, what would you believe? Well, what would you believe? Would you believe it even? All about partnerships, and O'Neill's managed to get himself clean bowled. And now it's Franklin who comes in with us, a batsman that we haven't batted with before, so I'm not particularly sure if he's an aggressive batsman, whether he's actually any good or not. That's probably more important whether he's aggressive or defensive. It's actually probably a more important fact that he's good or not. So we probably need to play the main role now as a batsman to make sure that Franklin doesn't get out. But also we want to make sure we don't get out as well. It's been a good innings so far, our best of the season in the 4 innings so far. We want to make sure that continues, and that's a lovely shot on the leg side, and that one will go straight to the boundary. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's a little bit boring, but if we can just get one of those and over and leave the rest, it doesn't really matter. We meet that 4 run rate, and we get about 70 before the end of the day, and I'm quite happy with that. So we'll just have to see how we get on. We've completed our objective of scoring 500 runs, which is fantastic. From when that objective starts. So we've scored more than 500, I'd say, in the career mode so far, but just in this episode, not just in this episode, sorry, but in the objective, we've managed to get 500 runs. But that wasn't the best shot in the world, you know. It was a little bit slow, and I thought, no, we'll just get the single here. But bizarrely, it went past the infield and very closely to the boundaries. I wonder whether the outfield's quite quick. Seems that it might well be. But 3 there, 7 off the over for us. Franklin didn't score anything there. 2 off 5, and we're really taking a commanding role here, which is what we need to do in our future matches at the end of the day, to make sure that we are a leader in this team and we can potentially get to the county team. But another boundary there. I can't believe how well we are playing so far. The bowling's very much to our strengths. It went straight past the bowler, a little bit more to the left. It would have gone in between his legs and it has stopped that. But a really quick ball. I think it's just that the outfield's very quick, and that's another 4 for us there. We've already scored 28 runs this episode, and that's fantastic. Right, here comes the second of the over. It's a Yorker. We'll hit that as well. We're seeming to hit about everything so far, which is a little bit worrying. We don't want to hit everything. We want to leave some, just in the case we might get out. But it's a single there, and Franklin is back on strike. I also want to gauge your opinion, folks, on something else. You might have seen last week that there was a teaser trailer for a new cricket game by Big Ant Studios. It's in effect, the second version of this game will stay there. It's rebranded as Cricket 19, but in effect it's Ashes Cricket 2019. Now, here's an interesting question for you. Would you like to see that on the channel? I think by the time that the Ashes series comes, I'll definitely end content on this game, because it'll be outdated by then. But do you guys want to see some Cricket 19 content on the channel? And if so, I wasn't planning to buy the game as a pre-order, but if the demand's quite big, I'm quite happy to do that and do, I think, probably daily videos on that game. Certainly for the first few weeks of that coming out. But there's some quite big releases this year. Oh, no, we were going to go there, but too much of a risk. There are some quite big releases this year. Cricket 19, Snooker 19. There's some other games coming out as well. But in particular, those 2 games are probably the biggest for me on the channel. So let me know. What do you think? Another Yorker here, so we'll try and hit that well. But unfortunately, it's straight to the field on that occasion. It seems they have tightened up. There were a few opportunities this over, I think, in the 4 balls so far, to get boundaries, but the field is quite tightly packed, so fair play. Another 6 and we get our 50, but really, do we want the fancy nature of trying to get a 6, or do we want to actually just stay in the crease? But that's a nice shot just past the fielder. It won't quite get to the boundary, but we're going to play for 3, which is a bit of a risk. No, we're not. Yeah, that was a good throw, to be honest. If it was a bit weaker, we would have just stayed. If we would have gone for the 3, but just the 2 there, and 1 ball before the end of the over, and we are 206 for 5. In comes Victor at the end of his 6th over. That's a nice shot. Straight past the infield. Is it going to go to the boundary? It most certainly is. And I have to say, I'm a little bit shocked we've done it, within 10 minutes of the video. And we are really striking well. It's a 50 off 33 balls. We've been at the crease for 40 minutes. And look how happy our batsman looks with that. Now, I think now with this momentum, we need to push on, become a leader, and get our first century. As you can see, to be fair, real mix. It's not necessarily offside or leg side. There's 1 gone down the field, 1 gone to very much to an angle to the side. But in general play, we're playing sort of 30 degrees to the left, to the offside, and 30 degrees to the leg side. So some good batting, some good balanced batting. And really, we want to make sure we surprise the bowlers. But I think really the way we play offside or leg is purely based on where the bowler puts the ball to us. But in comes the bowler, Croft. Hopefully not David Croft. But that's a single there. We'll take that. Seems Franklin stayed in. It's good to see he's not out very early, although he's not really contributing a lot. But if he stays in, allows us to become the leader. I'm not unhappy with that. But I have to say, he's pushed on a little bit now. 17 off 14 for him, which is brilliant. In comes the fast bowler again. Brilliant shot. about, well, it was 90 degrees there, wasn't it? 90 degrees to the offside and just off the edge of the bat, and that once again is another boundary. Nicely placed there in between those two fielders. I just feel like another shot like that won't particularly end the same way. We're not going to hit that one. That's the first shot we're actually not going to hit so far, so that's a bit of a surprise, isn't it? I'll just be back in a minute because I've just got a text. Right, I am back now, but it will only be for a few minutes. That won't matter to you, of course. I'll just cut any interruption out.
The wicket-keeper enthusiastic. Should they be?
Oh, great diving catch by the keeper. Superb.
Oh, you idiot. You idiot. We had such momentum, we left it for a minute and came back. Of course, first ball we tried to attack, didn't we? And we've gone. Oh, unbelievable. Oh, I am face palming. You can't see it, but I am face palming like mad like now. Oh, dear. Right, I think it is the best time to take a break now and come back for the next match, I think. Oh, dear. In fact, I'll tell you the scores at the end, but I can't watch any more of this. I can't believe we've just done that. But look on the bright side. We got a 50. We could have got a century, but it wasn't to be. That's a shame. But oh well. There's always something worthwhile, isn't there, from an interruption? At least I got a cup of tea out of it. I made myself a cup of tea. Well, to be fair, we're not playing too badly. We're on about, you know, oh, God, Franklin. Well, it depends if he's any good or not. Well, he's going to go and beat our score, and possibly with another 6. This is the first over of the next day, I think. If he gets another 6 runs, he'll be the top scorer of the lot, with a pretty good strike rate as well, to add. But this isn't a bad score. Hopefully get up to 300, and that will be good. Well, Franklin got 70, he's out, fair play to him. And we've got to be all out for about 300, I'd say. Possibly. 301, exactly. So, we lead by 340. They need a pretty good innings to win this. They've got plenty of time. Actually, have they? Of course, it's only a 3-day match. They haven't really got plenty of time to do it. 300 runs, if they really go for it, it could be possible. But we want to bowl them out. We want to get a draw. Although, seeing as what they've done so far, I doubt this is going to happen. But at lunchtime, they are 150 for 4. They've lost another one. How they're going to look? Ooh, I think they might win this, you know. Let's have a look. Well, there's still how many overs left? They're 274 for 5. They've got 29 overs left, unless we can have a clean sweep of them, which doesn't look particularly likely. That's another boundary there, I think that'll be. We're just going to run for the crack of it anyway. But this is disappointing. They're gonna get the 310 that they require. Unless we get some sort of wicket very quickly. We've got 1, but that's not going to be enough. They need 340, sorry, and they are going to win the match. A very job well done from Maidenhead, really, there. Some good runs, a very good run rate. To be fair, it's not the best run rate, actually, of about just about 3.5. But they did manage to win the game, which is a little bit upsetting. I do wonder whether if we'd have got our century, that we could have stopped them winning just by the time that we were in the crease for a little bit longer. We would have got the draw, and we would have actually got the win on count back, because that depends on who got the best first innings. But nonetheless, what can we do about it? The game's over now, we've lost, but we do get a lot of career XP, of course, if you remember, from the achievement we got in getting our 500 runs. I'm just going to have a sip of my cup of tea. We've also faced 500 deliveries now, we just need to hit 2 more 6s. But we're at the next level, we've got some points to spend, albeit not a lot. But we can spend it on some of our batting technique, which we will do. We've increased to a level 44, but it's not looking good so far. We've lost the first 2 matches of the championship, but we played Redditch next, who also lost their first 2. Just a bit of confirmation, we are still on hard difficulty. I'm not going to put it up to hardest just yet. I think that'd be a little bit unrealistic, but we'll change our uniform to default as usual. I wonder if we'll make any change for this game, seeing as we've lost our first 2. But Norton Franklin played very well there. I mean, we said, well, he might not be any good, but to get 70 off 50-odd balls is pretty impressive. And it seems ourselves and Franklin had a good strike rate, although the ones before who got 50, I think they were getting sort of 59 off 99, which really isn't what we want. Okay, it's good for them to get in the 50. I'd rather them get 50 off 99 than, say, I don't know, 30 off 60 or 30 off 10 and being out. But it does waste a little bit of time, which is a bit of a problem. And I do think our openers are the problem. I don't think our bowling's the best. I don't think our openers are the best. I'm not saying, oh, it's only the middle order in the batting that's any good. But it's interesting that those batsmen tend to not do very well, and the lower order don't as well. So I think that the middle order is definitely going to be crucial, and if we do well here, we might be out for 5, but it's a real shame that we lost that momentum we had in that second innings of the game against Maidenhead. But we're playing against Redditch, technically the weakest team in the competition. They've lost 2 games as well as us. We are better than a team that's lost 2, in my opinion. We're at home. I don't know what effect that will have. No changes, I don't think, for this. Norton Franklin is the captain, so he's got to be fairly highly thought of in this team. Look at his hair, blimey. Well, I think they're all like that, to be true, because I remember Patrick O'Neill had the same hairline, so maybe he's the same person. But we've chosen to bowl here first, which is interesting. We'll be chasing in the last innings, so that might make things very exciting, probably for the next episode, mind. I don't want to get out so quickly that we are doing the full game in today's episode. I think I've worked it out. We are probably about 15 minutes in there, bearing in mind all the interruptions, so we are going to try and make this about a half an hour episode. Redditch have started pretty well, to be honest. 200 odd for 4 off that first session. And they are going to get a plus 300 score, it seems. And they're going to be 300 for 6. Atkinson, nearly gets his century, but they're out for 98. That's harsh, and that's really gutting. But 900, not quite 900, but blimey, they're all out for nearly 500 runs. I mean, is that 491? And they're starting day 2. And really, we've got to win this first innings, because the game's not going to be over by the end of the third day. It's going to be a draw of some kind unless we completely capitulate. But we need to make sure we get the first innings lead. But to be honest, it's 60 for 4, so we've got no chance of that. I'm going to put that out there straight away. But the conditions look nice. It's a nice sunny day. I don't know whether that's ever happened in Wolverhampton before, in terms of this sort of sun. Blimey, look at this. All the trees around the ground. Pitch looks a bit different. Bit green, but that's not much of a problem. But let's get a bit of momentum going now. We want to get a good partnership with O'Neill. That's the batsman that we tend to get a good partnership at the start of this career mode. But we'll take the single. Means we don't get a duck. It's always a nice start to the innings. We'll always take that. But O'Neill's back at the crease. Hopefully we can get to about 100. Not in terms of 100 partnership, but hopefully we can get to 100 now without a loss. Now, straight down the line is what they're advertising here with having no fielders there. I wonder why they are advertising that. That was an edge, and that was pretty lucky, to be honest. There was no fielder there, so we'll get 2. Need to bear in mind that's a little bit of a slower ball, and it was a little bit early, that was. But we got away with it, and sometimes you will get away with it. Not exactly, as they say, the batsman can be very thankful. And for Cricket 19, which will come out in May, so it's not that far away now, I suppose, I would like to see better commentators. These commentators aren't the best, personally. I know it's Australian, so it's meant to be the Aussie commentators, but blimey. It'd be great to have the like of Aggers, Jonathan Agnew, Boycott, Michael Vaughan, these commentators that were in oh, that's a nice shot, that were in Ashes Cricket 09, not necessarily Michael Vaughan, but some of the better British commentators in the Cricket 19. That'll add a little bit more immersiveness, I feel, to that game. That's a nice boundary there. They did advertise that position down the line, and that's what we've gone for there. And that's exactly what we're going to go for again. Hit it just outside the line, and that's another boundary for us. And it's 10 off the over. 11 off 6, whereas O'Neill has 11 off 15. Fifth delivery of the over. In he comes again. Ooh, that's just wide, surely. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. Well, I thought that was a bit wide, but the umpire didn't think so. Well, they've changed the field. That's crucial. Blasted for the over, though. We're just going to defend. Make sure O'Neill gets back on strike. And to be fair, it's a job well done from us. 10 off the over. And now O'Neill comes into bat. But it's the end of the session, actually. The end of the first session of the day. We're 71 for 4. I wouldn't be surprised if we have to follow on, you know. Which will basically give Redditch the win, fundamentally. Oh dear, Patrick O'Neill's gone. I said we need to get to he's gone, in fact, the second ball of the session, which is never great. But Franklin's coming now. He can get another good score. That'd be brilliant for him. But once again, a quick outfield. Not the best shot in my opinion, but quite a quick outfield, and that's another boundary. Don't know if it's whether because we've improved our stats that our shot's just a bit more powerful. I'm not particularly sure, but we're playing some good cricket at the moment, and we've got finally into the swing of things. But I don't want to jinx it like I did last time with the 50. Good shot, but straight to the field on that occasion. Last delivery of the over. I'm disappointed in the team because it's going to be 3 losses from 3. We want to get into the finals of this championship, but it's not going to happen. And fundamentally, with a bad team, we're not going to get into the Warwick team. It's just not going to happen. You know, we're playing in a bad team. We can play as well as we can, but we're not really going to be highlighted as a good player. Just one off the over, though, from Franklin there. From McGoughlin, the spinner, who's come in for his first over of the day. A little bit early to bring him in here, I feel, with and the 17th over. But we'll get a single there. Albeit not the best shot, but we'll take runs when we can. We're 80 for 5, certainly not the best after the 17th over. And now it's a fast bowler coming in. 411 we trail by. I mean, to be honest, there is no way that between us the last 5 or 6 batsmen are going to get 200 odd. So, in my opinion, it's definitely going to be a follow-on unless there's something that really crazy happens. But once again, another boundary for us. We're starting to really play well in terms of the boundaries. I feel like we've got into this. We've got into the swing of it. We understand what we need to do now, when we need to hit the buttons, etc., to get some good speed on the shots and good timing. Fundamentally, timing is the most important thing on this game. Once again, brilliant timing, ideals all round, and that's another 4.
Gets to the boundary, 4 runs.
Another replay there. I'll take that. I have to say, there's been some good runs scored this over. You've seen what? You saw 40 in the first innings and 24 in this one, so you've seen your good share of runs. You might see a century, albeit just in the 2 innings. So as a collective, but that was a little bit unfortunate, wasn't it? Could have gone straight down the line again for 3 consecutive 4s, but albeit hit the stumps at the other side at the non-striker's end. Good Yorker there, but again, just straight to feet. Straight to where the bat is, and it's another 4 down the line. The only problem with the AI in this game, and I hope this is something that's improved in the upcoming release, is that they do take a few balls. Like, for the rest of the over now, that'll be open, and then next over, oh, right, we're being exploited there. Really, after 3-4, you'd know, they're exploiting that area a little bit. Once again, it's not as good that time. It'll only be a single. But once again, we've exploited that area. We've got runs out of it. And we've scored 13 off the over. And yeah, they've finally changed the field. Have they got someone down there now? Yeah, they have. I mean, look at that. They've gone a bit extensive, haven't they? Blimey. But in comes Patrick Franklin, Norton Franklin for the last of the over. We'll take the 1 there. I think we'll go for the 2. It's going to be close, but yeah, we are going to get the 2, and that means we'll be back on strike for the next over. Great stuff. 15 off the over. If we can continue that, we might have a bit of a better chance of avoiding the follow-on, but funnily enough, I don't think we are. Good run rate, though. Albeit it's not really come to anything. We'll take the single here. The bowlers had to pick it up. That was pretty tight in the end, but it's purely because it hit the fielder that didn't progress. Another single there from Franklin. 30 off 18 for us so far. This is a solid innings. A little bit early there. Oh, another interruption. Unbelievable. Apologies about that, folks. We are back now. Was that... Well, we didn't get anything. Oh, we got the 1, to be fair. Franklin back on strike. I think I have picked exactly the wrong time to record this. Saturday mornings never end well. I think I've had 2 interruptions. I've had a cup of tea I need to go and make. It's been crazy. But funnily enough, with all these interruptions, we're actually playing some of the best cricket we've played so far. Another boundary there. Could we get another half century? Fundamentally, 2 half centuries in 2 games won't hurt us. We've broke the 100 mark as well, and we're really on a good run rate so far. But once again, I did talk about earlier the need to balance that. Yeah, we've got a good run rate, but also we need to actually make sure we don't lose the wickets. But that's going to be tight. They're calling for it. Are we out? This could be a turn up for the book. We went for it. It was a direct hit. I don't know. It's close. I think we're gone. Yeah, it's gone. We're gone. We're out. We're out. Oh, no. We've gone. Definitely. It was a good second before we got there. And, oh, that's gutting. The single's usually safe. The single is usually fairly safe. But a fantastic direct hit there. And we've gone. And we're now 106 for 6. Well, it's not going to be long before we're out. And to be before the whole team are out. It's going to be a follow-on. Unless these two can perform a miracle here. I was only saying a few balls ago, it needs to be a balance between run rate and actually getting the runs without getting out. Franklin's gone. And I can tell you, without even looking at the scores, this is going to be a follow-on. As you can see. And once again, quite a poor score. Vessel's actually going for it, to be fair. 70 odd for him. And yeah, Vessel's a very good score, but mediocre from the rest to say the least. 152 for 4. That's where we come back in. Good shot already. We'll take that as a first boundary. Ultimately, Vessels has got to be the lead batsman here, because he's the top order batsman. He's got the quality, it's clear that is, because he's scored 87 from 122. That's a top score, and he's contributed to over half of the runs so far, so we've got to give him the lead chance. But we need to support him as well. We need to make sure we stay at the crease. Not perform risky runs like that where he can get out. But this is a little bit of a better predicament. But we don't want to lose by an innings. We certainly don't want to lose by an innings. That's embarrassing. But there is no way that we can get back into this game now. In my eyes anyway. It would be impossible. Unless they completely capitulate in their last innings. I would say they probably won't even need 100. Even if, if we can take it to the last innings at least. I doubt that will happen. Right, in comes the spinner. We'll take that. I couldn't quite see where that was going. That's either going to be 2-3 or it's going to go to the boundary. I think the fielder's done quite well there actually to get to that. It's another 2 to the score. Run rate's a lot less in this innings. We got to sort of 5 runs and over in the last one, albeit we're 106 for 6. We've 20 overs gone, but the run rate was a lot better. It's just got to be that balance. We need some innings like the last one we got a really good run rate and fell quite quickly. In this one we've actually got a poor run rate and we fell quite quickly as well. So it seems the bigger problem comes with keeping our wickets. But that's a fantastic hit on the leg side. The bowler's been really trumped there. Hit it just to our leg side and we've hit that really nicely. Just along the bottom of the bat. The foot of the bat, I suppose you could call it, if that's a technical term. Not sure. It's another great shot. Past the infield, another boundary. Simple. This is why I think we probably suit one-day cricket the most, I would say. Because we can hit those boundaries, but we can't swing for sixes all the time, which is what you need in T20. So a balance between Test and T20, which of course is one-day internationals, or just one-day matches. As I've said, we're not quite at that level yet. But some cracking runs so far. It's going to be at least 10 in the over, if not 11. This is good for this season, really. We shouldn't be risking these sort of runs, but it's free off that, and Vessels will get the last of the over. But really strong from us. 18 off 8 balls. And yeah, this has been a real example of our aggressiveness this episode, and our ability to pull it off. I mean, we made one mistake with the run out. We made a mistake with the one we hit after we went to get a cup of tea. But ultimately, we've not done too badly. But this is the first episode. I think it hopefully should come out at about half an hour. Let me know what you think, and if you've got to this point, let me know what you think. Is it an easy watch? Is it, do you enjoy watching the half an hour episodes, or is it just a case, no, I'd rather watch the shorter episodes and make it perhaps free a week, so you still get the hour of content. But I don't mind recording these half an hour episodes. I quite enjoy it. It's commentating over the same thing. It doesn't change. It's just for 10 minutes longer, and sometimes with those longer innings, you do need that extra 10 minutes just to develop the innings a little bit more. In comes the spinner again. Good shot, but it's straight to the fielder. I think we'll call this the last over of the day, because I think from working it out, we probably are at about half an hour now. Again, apologies for the wind. It's starting to pick up a bit now. Nice shot again there, but it's straight to the fielder. You've got to learn in cricket that every shot can't go to the boundary. You're going to have some dot balls, however hard you try. The field's nicely set up here. Sometimes you'll find a gap, sometimes you won't. They reckon that's out, but I think it hit the bat, to be honest. They feel confident, but the umpire's not interested. No review system, I don't think, in this game. There is in the international stuff, but of course, lower down, there isn't anybody upstairs. I don't think there's anybody at the ground for that matter. Never mind anybody upstairs. But 4 dot balls, been a little bit unlucky so far this over. We've gone for it, but sometimes, as I said before, we don't need every ball to go for a 6 or a 4. And once again, a nice shot, but we just got a little bit unlucky that time. We'll see if we can get to our 30 before the end of the episode. Oh, now Vessels has gone. 93 went for. Caught and bowled by McLaughlin. Well, we're in with Franklin again. It's a shame about Vessels, that is. But once again, another dot ball. Let's see if we can get anything off this over. They are quite tightly packed. The leg side looks a bit more attractive, but the bowler's been very skillful in making sure we can't get to that side. And that's straight to the bowler. A very good field they've set out here. We could go for a lofted shot, but the fact we're on, what, 21? Do we really want to risk that? I don't think we do. Again, another nice shot, but again, straight to the bowler. What was up here? Why are they showing a replay? Is it a no ball or something? No, it's not a no ball. Did he drop me? No, he didn't drop it. Well, he did drop it, but it certainly didn't carry. I can tell you that without looking too closely. Ooh, good ball.
Well and truly beaten by the bowler.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed, slats. Once something comes down the sniff of the leg side, we will have a go at that, but that's a much better shot. Just going past that fielder there, and we're going to try and take the two, be a bit more aggressive, because I've had a few drop balls. No, it's dot balls, not dropped balls. But there's nowhere really in this field that looks any good. I don't think this one's going to trickle down the leg side. Certainly not. Again, another good shot. Will it get to the boundary this time? It's a little bit quicker. No, it's not. And that's another two. And that, ladies and gents, is where we're going to leave it. At the end of the 50th over of our second innings against Redditch. So we're at, what? I think it's 23, 25 off 18 or 19 balls. Something like that. 25 off 21. And that's a good place to end it. So if you've enjoyed this one, folks, once again, I appreciate feedback on the longer episode lengths, as well as Cricket 19 if you want to see some of that on the channel. But I've been TIJ Gaming. Thank you very much for watching and for your constant support on the series. Make sure to click on one of the end screen elements if you want to continue your journey with TIJ Gaming in the near future today. But thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for Ashes Cricket and make sure to hit the bell to get notifications when the videos come out. But apart from that, I've been TIJ Gaming and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you guys on Friday. Goodbye.